Well, speaking of singers, I do this thing I wrap up these episodes with a gift. I decided when I started to do these shows, I wanted to give every guest a gift, and I thought, vinyl. Whether you have a record player anymore or whatever.
I do.
Vinyl is still vinyl, So I thought, what am I going to give Paul? I thought about it, and I thought, I hope I nailed it. This is going to be obscure to a lot of our viewers.
Wow. John Farnham, unfortunately in America, has never, ever gotten an iota, a fraction of the accolades that he deserves. He's just a mind-boggling singer. You've done shows with him. And in Australia, he's God. He's God. And he's gone through some very horrific times.
Yeah.
And boy, that guy can sing.
But I thought, I know, because we've been talking about him the last, year or so. Mm-hmm. When you realized that I had worked with him, or I forget how it was that we connected on John Farnham, and when I knew that you really got it, like you appreciate him the way I do, I did this, I think I might have told you this, but in the 90s, I played a couple nights at the Greek Theater, and John came into town for something. And so we were hanging out. We'd already been friendly. We'd written some songs together. And I've always said, for as long as I can remember, to me, Sam Cooke is the greatest singer who ever lived, and John Farnham's the greatest singer alive. Not anymore, obviously, right now, because of some health stuff that he's had. But this is when he was still just like vocally just. So he's in LA. He's going to come to the show at the Greek. And I said, will you get up and do something in my show? And he went, nobody knows me here. And I said, that's why I want you to. So he does this, he wrote this cover, he arranged this cover of Help, the Beatles' Help, as a ballad. And it's a staple in his show in Australia for years. And it's so incredible. And the range is mind-blowing. So I taught it to my band, and I played piano, and I brought him out in the middle of my show to an audience packed at the Greek who didn't know who he was, and he got a standing ovation.
I've always, and I've told Evan, who my son, who's a musician and sings.
Who's really talented.
Who's very, very talented. And I always say, look at their mouths, look at their tongue placement on certain words. Look at where they're placing their voice on different words. And he's one of those examples that you can learn by watching. It's not just a matter of what he's doing, but trying to understand how he does it.
Well, he's a great rock singer with tons of rasp and power, but he's really also an opera singer. He could sing opera easily. And it's so weird you said that, because one of the things I've noticed about him, and you singers out there should pay attention to this, if you watch pop and rock singers, traditionally, when they're going for a really high note, they go like this with the microphone, or they get under the microphone, they put their head up like this. And it's the exact opposite thing you should do.
Totally.
And when I started to watch John live, he would take the mic, and when the highest notes, his head would go, he would...
Totally. It's like...
like
yeah, this
because
is the
it just
last
opens
thing.
it, because this is just constricting.
Totally.
And his mouth is open really wide, and the power, everybody I play him for, who's never heard of him, and a lot of people are Americans who've never heard of him, are all completely flabbergasted. So
yeah, the greats, it's not about, that's not how you hit high notes. You hit high notes here, and it's voice placement, where you have sinuses, you have hollows here, and that's, you sing down to a note, you don't sing up to a note.
And this is a new pressing they did of this album. This was the album that got me into him.
This was the,
and it was it has You're the Voice on it.
Yeah, You're the Voice. That's crazy.